The fun is about to begin.
4 bakers are here to do battle.
Golden brown delicious.
2 are amazing amateurs.
My magic show.
That is so cool.
This is crazy.
And 2 are professional bakers.
A round of applause.
But only they know their true identities.
That's a baker right there.
Their mission, outbake the competition for the $10,000 prize.
What? Cha-ching!
Are you a baker or are you a faker?
I
Am.
A. I win, I win, I win.
Well, hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
So we have 2 rounds of competition, and round 1 is my choice. To start you off today, you will be baking blondies. Okay.
Sounds great. I like it.
And you know, any amateur can make a passable blondie.
Oh, yeah.
But it takes a real pro to make a great blondie using bourbon.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We have straight up bourbon, bourbon-soaked cherries, bourbon vanilla, maple bourbon barbecue sauce, and bourbon chocolate fudge. I'm going to give you 45 minutes to make an amazing blondie, incorporating at least one of these variations of bourbon in your dish. Are you ready?
Yes. Ready.
Let's go! So a blondie, it's a rich, sweet dessert bar. What should a blondie be like for you?
Well, my perfect blondie is sitting right next to me. But as a baked good, it's really just cookie dough. I want the outsides crispy and crunchy, and I want the inside to be perfectly gooey. What we love about blondies is that, like, brown sugar aspect.
Yeah, it's that toffee, the almost butterscotch flavor.
And then you can put whatever you want in it.
As a blondie myself, what could be better? And blondie and bourbon? Over the top. What would be a great challenge, and to know that it's a real baker, is if they took the bourbon and made vanilla ice cream.
I think that's a total baker move. To use the natural vanilla flavor in the bourbon, maybe enhance it with the extract, and deliver on that real cask bourbon flavor. You know what I love? I love cocktails, and I love cocktail-inspired desserts. I would either make a Manhattan or an old-fashioned blondie.
I'm all over that.
And then you have a cocktail and a dessert in one. Cheers.
All right, let's see what they're gonna do.
Cornstarch, cornstarch. You can have mine if you want it.
Oh,
Okay.
see, you're not afraid of competition.
No,
There you go.
I got you beat. I might as well help you along the way. I am a Southern girl. I grew up in a little town in northeast Louisiana on a cotton and soybean farm, and my daddy grew everything. I do try and put a little bit of Louisiana on the plate. My style of baking is very Southern, very decadent. God may rule my heart, but my taste buds rule my world. I'm ready. I'm going to make a Bayou Blondie, bringing the Louisiana flair to it with just a little hint of cayenne, but then topping it off with the praline sauce and bourbon-infused ice cream. You cannot have a blondie without ice cream. I'm crazy for trying to do an ice cream in 45 minutes, and I know that, but I always want to go that extra mile. So I pour the creme anglaise into the ice cream machine. It's got to start churning. God says, let this freeze in record time. I've not even started on my blondie. Slowly add that in. So when I get started on this, I have melted my butter. I've got my sugars in my bowl. Oh, I almost forgot the most important ingredient. Then I add a tablespoon of bourbon and just a hint of cayenne pepper. The key to using cayenne is to do it for flavor and not to set your mouth on fire. I'm going to bring Louisiana into this blondie. I am bringing the judges to the bayou today. Finally, I pour and get my dough inside these cast iron skillets.
Cast iron is great to deliver that perfect crispy edge and gooey center. I mean, that is a baker move.
In the oven.
I'm ready for this.
Baking is a big passion of mine, but I also like origami, the art of folding paper. It's a crane, ta-da! I am feeling just kind of zen. My baking style is eclectic Japanese, so I'm making an old-fashioned blondie with a miso caramel.
All right.
So our surprise ingredient is bourbon. The first thing I think about is the drink old-fashioned. So my blondie is going to be infused with orange and cherry to kind of reiterate the flavor profile of an old-fashioned.
Just getting the basic blondie mixture going.
So the first thing I'm gonna get started on is my blondie.
Kevin's cooking his blondie on the stovetop, but putting the sugar and the butter in a pan is just going to make it too dry. It's going to come out cakey. It's not going to be a blondie.
I agree. That's such a faker move.
And so then I toss in the bourbon vanilla and add the orange zest,
Yeah, give it a little bit of pop.
then the pecans and the dried cherries just fold it in. And I get it in the oven as quick as I can because I know it needs to bake.
Hey, I like that.
So the next thing I need to work on is my bourbon miso caramel.
I'm adding some udaddy to this because the pastry version of umami is udaddy.
Kevin is adding his miso to his caramel right now.
Baker move, baker move. Total umami flavor. That saltiness with the caramel in there. It's great.
Udaddy, that's good.
Being 100% Japanese has influenced my baking because growing up, being around my mom and my grandma, cooking Japanese food in the house, all the ingredients were always around. I always thought, how can I incorporate that into something sweet to kind of make it a little bit different?
Udaddy.
I need some sweet tea and some Shaka Khan. I'm good, I'm telling you. My baking style is fabulous and decadent. So for round one, I'm going to make a bourbon bacon bling blondie. All right. This dish is gonna be me on a plate because it's big, it's bold, it's delicious, fabulousness, and it's blinged out. I'm gonna go ahead and put this butter in here. The first thing I'm gonna get started on is going to be my blondies. I'm gonna brown my butter, get my sugars together. Flour, that's in, so I need a little bourbon. My strategy for this is going to be to put bourbon in everywhere. I don't drink, so we'll see how this goes. Ooh, Jesus, okay. So I'm gonna put it in the blondie, I'm gonna put it in the sauces, in the pecans, bourbon, just layers and layers and layers of bourbon. Just put a little bit in just for good measure, right? Now we gotta cook the bacon to put on top of my blondie.
I love the fact that she's using bacon, which is going to go on top of the blondie, and I think bacon is an excellent addition.
She's doing that savory, sweet thing, bacon and salty. I love that combination. Baker.
For my magic ingredient, saffron. My style of baking is to play with interesting flavor combinations. And to me, interesting flavors equals decadence, and that's what I look for in a dessert. So I'm making a fruitcake blondie with saffron creme anglaise.
Saffron butter?
Saffron brown butter.
That sounds pretty professional.
I am fancy. The first thing I'm doing is I'm browning butter, and it's the perfect way to bloom the saffron. Oh, here we go. Once the butter is browned, I am cutting up dates and soaking them in bourbon for a few minutes before I put them in the batter.
Now, if you see what Trish is doing, she put the dates in a bowl and she poured the bourbon on top. She wants them to be nice and plump.
That's a baker move.
Do you think she should have heated it through, though, to make sure that the liquid goes inside the dates?
Absolutely. Total faker.
Let's pick up the pace. Next, I'm chopping up bourbon-soaked cherries to fold into my blondie batter.
Are they doing fancy stuff again?
It's gonna be almost like a bourbon-soaked fruitcake blondie.
Nobody likes fruitcake, though. Is that what you're doing?
My mama loved fruitcake.
Okay.
Of course, there was a whole bottle of bourbon in each loaf.
Okay.
My mom taught me how to bake. Food and baking was my way of connecting with her. All right, Mama, you with me? I need you. So now that she's gone, it's so important for me to win for her. Make way for the winning recipe.
You know, I've always been a praying woman, but I am really praying now. I am looking at the ice cream maker, and I'm realizing it's already forming ice crystals.
Here's the ice cream. Here's the ice cream, Tammy.
Oh.
Tammy's ice cream.
Do we get it? Do we get it?
No.
It looks a little bit icy.
The ice cream is not working, and I've got to come up with plan B.
Cuss.
Spring it up! Spring Baking Championship is in full bloom.
Wow.
Bursting with the best bakers.
Thank you very much. I am stoked right now.
We're baking and shaking.
Yeah.
You like dancing?
It is delicious.
Life is what you bake it.
Happy spring.
New season, Spring Baking Championship, premieres March 12th at 9. on Food Network.
When you filter out the bad, you're left with the good. In life and in water. Choose the cleaner, better tasting world of Brita. Choose the filtered life.
People confuse nice and kind, but they're different. It's nice to remove artificial ingredients. Kind never had to. We choose real ingredients like almonds, peanuts, and a drizzle of dark chocolate. Find your favorite and give Kind a try.
At Farmers, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even close claws.
We took your shortcuts.
Yeah.
Was a bad idea.
I can't believe that worked. No. I dropped the keys.
And we covered it. Talk to Farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
I am the one and only DQ chicken strip basket, now $4.99. I am the 100% all-white meat tenderloin reason you close your eyes when you bite. Country gravy don't normally take to strangers, but it sure as sugar takes to me. Because I'm not fast food. I am fan food.
Packed with flavor, one hero was on a mission to save snack time. Watch Baby Bell in The Great Snack Rescue.
You want a piece of me? Good. I'm delicious.
Creamy, delicious, 100% real cheese. Mini Baby Bell.
Snack a little bigger.
Hey, are you taking the tissue test?
Yep, and my teeth are yellow. I mean, I knew they weren't perfect, but ugh.
Oh, well. All hope is lost.
Oh, thanks. Clearly, my whitening toothpaste is not cutting it.
Time for white strips.
Crest Glamorous White Strips are the only ADA-accepted whitening strips proven to be safe and effective. They work below the enamel surface to whiten 25 times better than a leading whitening toothpaste.
Hey, nice smile.
Thanks. I crushed the tissue test.
Yeah, you did.
Crest. Healthy, beautiful smiles for life.
From customizable plans to convenient delivery, HelloFresh delivers the food you crave, when and where you want it. Use code TV30 to save $30 off your first box. HelloFresh. Get cooking.
In my experience, every successful racer needs a few things. Amazing reflexes, a great team, coordination, and oh yes, this.
If it doesn't set up, then I don't put it on the plate. The ice cream is not working. I am just so upset that's not working. I've decided I know I can make a dynamite bourbon-infused whipped cream. To me, it's a step under having ice cream, but I still think it's gonna wow the judges. Not too much, just a hint.
So I'm making some cherry gastrique. While my blondies are in the oven baking away, I move on to my gastrique. Oh yeah. So I add the bourbon cherries to the balsamic vinegar and a little bit of sugar to reduce it down. Nice and saucy. The gastrique is actually gonna add a really good sweet and sour kind of tang to the dish. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Have a look at his cherry sauce. It looks delicious.
I still think Kevin is a faker, but I love the idea of adding the balsamic vinegar. It's a gastrique, which is basically sweet plus vinegar.
I think it would go with the bourbon and with the miso. That's a grand slam. Professional baker.
What time is it? So I look at the clock, and I ain't heard no fat lady sing, so it's cocktail time. I'm making old fashions. I throw some sugar in there, I grab the bitters, dump it in there, and then I don't even measure the bourbon, I just dump it in.
Kevin is making an old-fashioned. You think he's a bartender?
Actually, it sounds right. He knows what he's doing because he's around food a lot. He's a bartender. It's bakers versus bartenders today.
Oh, you gotta get them drunk so they'll vote for you? I need to get my bacon out. My blondies are baking. So I went ahead and I baked off some bacon to put on top of my blondie. And I'm reserving that bacon grease because you don't want to waste that either. All right, let this bacon dry out. So now I'm gonna go ahead and candy these pecans and put a little bourbon on there so you get the salty, the sweet, and the heat from the bourbon. I'm gonna take a little bourbon, why not? Do a little razzle-dazzle, there you go.
Yvette's doing something quite nice. She's pulled off the bacon on the same sheets she's put her pecans. She's gonna get all that beautiful flavor. She's added some sugar. They're gonna taste great.
I really want to win this $10,000 for my sister. Come on. My sister has been there for me my entire life. And in the time when I needed her most, when financially I was almost ruined in my business, she was the one who dug into her pocket to bail me out. Ooh, I think these prayers got answered, y'all. Let's see what it looks like, though. Even though my sister would say I don't have to pay her back anything, and I feel like I owe her my life, and I want to be able to give back to her by helping pay for my nephew's first year of college. It's the least I can do. Oh my goodness, thank you, yes.
Almost, not quite. Now that the blondies are in the oven, I'm gonna start on my saffron creme anglaise. More saffron.
You don't need to win to pay for all that saffron.
I know, right? Make sure that I don't cook the eggs, because if anybody's gonna do that, it's me.
What do you think about bourbon and saffron together as a flavor combination? Do you actually think that works?
I think the saffron fights with the bourbon completely. You know, they're in a dueling match, and no one's gonna win.
I haven't tried saffron and bourbon together, so maybe we shouldn't criticize it until you've tried it.
I'm interested.
Ooh, this is pretty.
So want to check my blondies, but I do not want to open that door. While my blondies are baking, I've got to get my praline sauce made. Come on, now. Pralines are really such a New Orleans thing. It is a sugar-based sauce with good Louisiana pecans that'll just make you want to slap your granny. This is what makes the dish. And I'm actually melting my butter and my brown sugar together because you want that to dissolve and really get that caramel flavor going.
It's toasted.
Next, I'm toasting pecans. Then you take it off the heat. You put in your bourbon vanilla and your pecans. And then you just let it sit over there and have a party all by itself.
Okay, total faker move. Tammy over there, toasting the nuts. They barely touched the heat. It's not gonna have the crunch. It's a total faker move.
If nothing else works today, that praline sauce should get me the second round.
You have 1 minute left. Right now, based on what you're saying, who are your two bakers? Zach.
My two bakers are Trisha and Tammy. I'm liking what Trisha's doing. All the dried fruit and the booze, that's fruitcake. And honestly, only a baker would attempt fruitcake. So Tammy, look at the color on that blondie. I think Tammy is a baker.
My two bakers are Kevin and Yvette. For me, all about the flavor. Kevin, he has his combination of a caramel and miso. That's a total baker move. Yvette, she's got the bacon. She's got bourbon. My money's on Yvette.
How does it feel to be wrong, Sherry?
Feels so right.
10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands off. Stop baking.
So the time is up. I'm looking down at my plate. It's a little bit of a hot mess, but that's okay because I am not a dainty girl. I'm not gonna make this plate dainty. They're gonna get exactly what I am on a plate.
So, bakers and fakers, I gave you 45 minutes to make blondies using bourbon. And now it's time for you to face the judges. Remember, whoever has made the judges' favorite dish will win the round. And on the flip side, whoever's made the judges' least favorite dish will be going home. Tammy.
I made a Bayou Blondie with bourbon-infused whipped cream. In my blondie itself, I actually used bourbon. And in my praline sauce, I used some of the bourbon vanilla.
I really wanted to try your ice cream.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie.
Me too.
That said, this is great whipped cream. The blondie itself, I think, is perfect. The outside is crispy, the inside is nicely gooey. However, is this your Betty Ford Blondie? I was promised bourbon, that's why I got out of bed, all right? Unfortunately, I think, well, you didn't focus on the ingredient.
Your caramel sauce is the height of this dish. I want to put it in a jar. For me, what doesn't work is the pecans. Ugh, toast, toast, toast. You have to. You're gonna get that crunch and you're gonna have that crispiness on the outside. So those pecans, once again, a miss for me.
Yvette, I made a bourbon bacon bling blondie. Ooh. All the way through, there's bourbon and everything.
It looks like an explosion. That was a miss for me. But the blondie is right there. It's that sweet spot of the blondie where there's that goo, enough in the middle, and the crispiness on the outside. And so I'm really happily surprised.
I love your flavors. I mean, bacon and bourbon are just born to be together. They married with the blondie perfectly.
Yes.
That said, I love bling, but you gotta have bling for a reason, all right? Like, you don't put on your diamonds to go to the laundromat.
I do. Trisha.
I made a fruitcake blondie with a saffron creme anglaise. I used the bourbon-soaked cherries, and the bourbon vanilla in the blondie.
I love fruitcake. Shocker. Texturally, it's great. I love the crispy outside. But, you know, I was nervous about your saffron, just in how much you were using, because too much can overpower. In the blondie, it doesn't work there. I actually get the threads and it's too much flavor.
Okay.
But it works in this sauce. This sauce is so good.
Yeah. The saffron is a beautiful floral. The bourbon over the top comes in and brings the heat that cleans it up. Your use of the bourbon and soaking the dates and the cherries was spot on. Only problem with it, though, is that you didn't heat it up. And if you heated it up, it would have permeated inside and really given us that bourbon flavor.
Kevin.
I made an old-fashioned blondie with a miso caramel. I used the bourbon vanilla in the blondie itself. I used the straight-up bourbon in the miso caramel. And I used the bourbon cherries in the cherry gastrique. And then, obviously, I made a old-fashioned for you.
Well, now we're only gonna taste bourbon.
We're going with what's important now.
Let's start with the miso caramel. I really enjoy that. I really love that saltiness with the caramel in there. Your blondie, it's not really a blondie to me. It's more cake, and it's very dry.
The gastrique, sweet, tart, really gives me the flavor of an old-fashioned cocktail. I agree with Sherry. I think the blondie itself was a little dry. I think had you baked it a little bit less, you would have been fine.
All right, so now comes the hard part. The judges are gonna make a decision, so just give us a few minutes.
So my blondie is overbaked, but, you know, I am using the flavor profile of an old-fashioned. Plus, they have a drink in front of them. You know, that's got to get me some brownie points, right? Or blondie points.
Liberty Mutual stood with me when this guy got a flat tire in the middle of the night, so he got home safe.
Yeah, my dad says their insurance doesn't have that.
What? You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Itchy bands, digging wires, finding the perfect bra is pretty much impossible. But then I discovered Third Love. I took their Fit Finder quiz and found the best bra for my shape and size.
What's your perfect fit? Take our Fit Finder quiz at thirdlove.com to find out.
At IKEA, we believe that everything you need should be within reach. That anything that matches your taste can match your budget. That green living doesn't have to cost much green. We believe that you should always have room for the little things. And that your dream kitchen should work as hard as you do.
IKEA family members get 15% back when you spend $2,000 or more at the IKEA Kitchen event. And financing is now available with the IKEA Project Credit Card.
Depression is a tangle of multiple symptoms that can make you sad, feel tired, and have difficulty concentrating. Trintellix is a prescription medication for depression. It may help you take a step forward in improving your depression. Tell your healthcare professional right away if your depression worsens or you have unusual changes in mood, behavior, or thoughts of suicide. Antidepressants can increase these in children, teens, and young adults. Do not take with MAOIs. Tell your healthcare professional about your medications, including migraine, psychiatric, and depression medications, to avoid a potentially life-threatening condition. Increased risk of bleeding or bruising may occur, especially if taken with NSAID pain relievers, aspirin, or blood thinners. Manic episodes or vision problems may occur in some people. May cause low sodium levels. The most common side effects were nausea, constipation, and vomiting. Ask your healthcare professional if it's time for a change to Trintellix.
Aw, thanks for loading, sweet. Ooh, burnt on gravy? Gotta rinse that. Nope. No way. Nada. Really?
Dish issues? Throw it all in. Cascade Platinum powers through even burnt on gravy.
Nice.
Cascade.
At Safe Flight Auto Glass, we know that when you're spending time with the grandkids, every minute counts. And you don't have time for a cracked windshield. That's why at Safe Flight, we'll show you exactly when we'll be there with a replacement you can trust. Hold on, sir. Looks great. Thanks for choosing Safe Flight. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Saving you time so you can keep saving the world.
Safe Flight Repair. Safe Flight Replace.
Oh my, what's that smell? It's the stink from the garbage disposal in your sink. You've tried vinegar, baking soda, detergents, and more, but getting rid of the smell is an impossible chore. Not anymore. You need Sandy 360 Garbage Disposal Cleaner Deodorizer, the professional way to deep clean your garbage disposal and stop that smelly sink stink. Garbage disposals whip food around so it sticks, spoils, and stinks. Just place the nozzle into the disposal and press. Sandy 360 Disposal Cleaner's amazing, expanding, scrubbing foam instantly grows and fills in with millions of bacteria-busting enzymes that blast and break down dried, stuck-on, smelly food, grease, and grime, leaving a deodorized, sparkling clean machine that smells lemon fresh every time.
My disposal looks cleaner, runs cleaner, and smells cleaner with Sandy 360 Disposal Cleaner.
No dangerous fumes or harmful chemicals, and it's all septic tank safe. Stop embarrassing drain odors fast with Sandy 360 Garbage Disposal Cleaner Deodorizer. Available at these fine retailers.
Bakers and fakers, I gave you 45 minutes to make a blondie using bourbon. You've already faced the judges, and now it's time to learn who made the best dish and won the round, and who made the judge's least favorite dish and is going home, and that person's true identity. So, Zach, who is the winner of this round?
The winner of this round is Yvette.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I won round one. I'm so excited.
Your bourbon, your bacon. It was exactly what we were looking for in a blondie.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sherry, who made the second best blondie?
Our second favorite dish was made by Kevin.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, judges, we are down to the two dishes that you like the least. Zach?
The person moving on to round two is Tammy.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, Trisha, that means you've been eliminated. But before you go, please tell us, are you a baker or are you a faker?
I am a faker.
What do you do?
I'm a trial lawyer.
Oh, wow.
I had you pegged as baker. Well, the verdict's in. I thought it was delicious.
Thank you. I practice law in Park City, Utah, and I do any type of law that ends up in a courtroom. Why wouldn't you have hired a lawyer at that time? The parallels between baking and trial work is that I love helping people, whether it's giving them something sweet or just helping them through a really tough time in their lives. I get the same warm and fuzzies from both. Perfect. Baking is something that I will continue to do week in, week out, because I really feel my mom in the kitchen with me, and that's such a great feeling.
Now it's time to make some money! Yes! We know we have 2 bakers and 1 faker remaining. And in this round, you have the freedom to make whatever dish you like. Yes.
Good, good.
But you must incorporate melon.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
No.
Okay. We have fresh cantaloupe, honeydew popsicles, melon gummies, watermelon juice, and watermelon seeds. You must incorporate at least 1 of these variations of melon in your dish. Whoever creates the best dish in this round takes home the cash. You have 45 minutes. Are you ready? Yes.
Ready.
Let's go! Okay, so round 2, they can make anything they like, but they must use melons. What do you think?
There's so much water content in them and very little flavor. So the key to this is extracting the real melon flavor and enhancing it. So I think a baker is going to enhance it with chili or limes.
Melons need a good supporting character to go along with it.
I have never seen anything baked with a melon before.
Maybe like a traditional entremont cake where you'd have the cake and then a mousse layer and a gelée on the top.
It might be nice to see a compote or a jam.
You can't cook it, though. When you start cooking the chunks of melon, they're gonna fall apart.
Where are the pops? Where are the pops?
I think a baker might go for the popsicles. If they took that and used that as a base of like a whipped cream or a frosting, I mean, that's a really smart way to use the ingredient.
Let's see what they're gonna do.
My strategy is I still want to be set apart from everyone else. So I'm going to do a dessert that guaranteed nobody's seen in a really long time. So for round 2, I'm going to make a lime and shiso passette with a watermelon gelée.
Already.
It's not something that's super complicated. It's really just like a custard with jello and a cookie. The first thing that I do is I start the passette. I grab the heavy cream and the sugar, and I get that into a pot and get it on the stove. A passette is a thickened cream with a little bit of sugar.
Oh, yeah.
They like the miso caramel, so I'm going to add another Japanese ingredient, and that's shiso.
Shiso is something my mom uses a lot.
Shiso is part of the mint family, so it kind of has that minty flavor to it to kind of refresh the palate.
Now, I think Kevin is a baker, but what's throwing me off completely is that he did not strain those shiso leaves out of that custard, and they're just gonna be floating in there.
He's my baker, but the shiso's done its work, all right? It's imparted its flavor. Get it out of there.
I'm feeling good. So it's time to start on my tuile batter.
All right, come on, come on.
The batter is just equal parts of butter, sugar, egg whites, and flour.
All right, all right.
Tuile cookies bake in about 3 to 5 minutes, depending on the oven temperature.
All right, here we go.
I am so ready. I didn't enjoy being in the bottom 2, but I do know that I can do something in the second round that will absolutely wow the judges. So in round 2, I'm making a champagne cheesecake with cantaloupe and strawberry compote. They are going to love these pecans this time. I am making cheesecake because I know that my recipe is dynamite. It is truly my signature dish. I gotta use my Louisiana pecans. It just makes a difference in the crust, the texture, and the flavor. The first thing I'm getting started on is my vanilla cookie crust. Grind up, baby, grind up. I actually put my crust in the ramekins that I've buttered, and then I put them in the blast chiller to set. Now I'm getting started on my cheesecake filling. All right. Get in there, yumminess. And the most important ingredient in this cheesecake is the champagne. All right, gonna do the little champagne. Woo, sudsy! Champagne pairs so well with the fruit. And I just know the lightness, that just little different taste that it gives in that custard is gonna be something that sets it apart. All right, so I fill up my ramekins with the cheesecake batter and straight into the oven.
Tammy is using a water bath to cook her cheesecake, and I like that because that means the cheesecake is not going to get too hot, it's not going to get scrambled inside. Only a baker would think like that.
Man, I'm in the zone.
I got the whole pantry. I needed a little bit of everything. I brought the bacon in round 1. I'm gonna win it in round 2. For round 2, I'm making Moscato cake with cantaloupe filling with melon Moscato buttercream. Whoop. The first thing I'm gonna do is make my Moscato wine cake. I'm gonna cream my butter and sugar together. All right. This is gonna fit into my baking style because the cake is gonna be amazing and decadent, and then that luxurious buttercream is gonna melt in their mouth and bring it all together. Now it's time for the Moscato wine. The Moscato wine is great because it's light and it's refreshing, but it's fruity and it's sweet, so it plays perfectly with cake.
Yvette used Moscato, which is one of my favorite spring and summer drinks. It has beautiful peach and melon notes to it, and it will really bring a nice flavor to that cake.
I believe I am an amazing baker, and I really want to win this $10,000. I want to be a blessing to my sister and my nephew. I am winning this for my nephew. I just want to help pay for his college and help give him a solid foundation to start his life off with. Once I get my batter just the perfect texture and it's velvet, I'm gonna go ahead and pour that into a baking sheet with the Silpat and get that in the oven. All right, now I just need to get my bearings a little bit.
Why aren't you baking? Something's going on because it doesn't look like they're baking. It actually looks like they're melting. Why aren't you baking? What are you doing?
This is mine versus Tweels.
On an all-new Worst Cooks in America.
Sharon, when the eggs come out, roll the teriyaki sauce, and the whites will stain really pretty, bro.
Do you mind if I don't do that?
All right.
All new Worst Cooks in America, tonight at 9. New season, Spring Baking Championship, premieres March 12th at 9.
What are new Lay's Poppables? They're unstoppable bites of snackable fun. A delightfully crunchable, curiously catchable, crispy and airy potato popped original. That's a Poppable. All new Lay's Poppables. Taste the Poppabilities.
Flaky fish from Alaska? Sweet buns from Hawaii? Nice going, new states. Welcome to the Union. Arby's, we have the meats.
When we put our name on our product, we are making a promise to all who trust our brand. At Libman, we say, don't worry about the mess. Embrace it. Life should get a little out of hand. So live it up. Laugh it up. Then grab a Libman and clean it up. Because no matter how messy life gets, you can always depend on Libman to help you live for the moment. Libman, family made in the USA since 1896.
We do whatever it takes to fight cancer. These are the specialists we're proud to call our own. Experts from all over the world, working closely together to deliver truly personalized cancer care. Expert medicine works here. Learn more at cancercenter.com.
OfferUp is a new free app that shows you what people are selling nearby.
It's kind of like a game. Every day there are new surprises.
Come on, flat screen TV.
Oh, come on, dining room table.
Come on, sofa.
Yeah.
OfferUp is free to use. Find anything you want nearby.
Dear Brian and Liz, my favorite part about being an insurance agent is working with people like you. Over the years, I've watched your passion grow into a successful business. It's clear why your family, your nursery, and the things you care about are so valuable. It's why I recommended the Cincinnati Insurance Companies. Thank you for your trust and letting me be part of this journey. Take care. David.
The Cincinnati Insurance Companies. Everything insurance should be.
When it comes to travel, I sweat the details. Late checkout, down alternative pillows, and of course, price. TripAdvisor helps you book a hotel without breaking a sweat. Because we now instantly search over 200 booking sites to find you the lowest price on the hotel you want. Don't sweat your booking. TripAdvisor, the latest reviews, the lowest prices.
What if a university could lock its tuition? From your first dream to your first dollar, from between shifts and after hours, from the struggle to the reckoning, to the moment you sit in that auditorium and realize that your whole life is about to change? What if a university could guarantee fixed, affordable tuition from your first class to your last?
These are not working. I'm looking at my Tweels and I'm thinking, there is something wrong with this. It doesn't look like they're baking. It actually looks like they're melting. Yeah, I'm just gonna scrape it off because it's just not working the way I want it to. So I just scrape them off,
Kevin's twills are still not working out.
And I add a couple more cups of flour, and I try again. Round 2. See, hopefully these twills will work out better than the first batch. I'm making this dish for not only my mom and my dad, but also the memory of my grandma. I don't want to let them down. And here I am, I'm crying over a tweel. Oh my God.
All right, now we have got to get some cantaloupe. While the cheesecakes are in the oven, I start on my cantaloupe and strawberry compote. In my compote, I'm combining cantaloupe, strawberries, sugar, lemon zest. It is a strawberry and champagne cheesecake anyway, and a touch of champagne. All right, come on, let those juices go.
I think compote is a faker move, because compote to me says thick and goopy. Melons don't get thick and goopy.
She has some strawberries in there, so maybe that would make it a little bit more goopy.
I think it's a faker move.
So this is for my dad. I don't know that he got to taste my famous cheesecake before he passed on. Growing up, I was a daddy's girl, and he had a way of motivating me to be the best. I could tell my daddy I want to go be a ditch digger. And he'd be, I think that's excellent. If that's what you want to do and you know you can be the best at it, then I want you to do it. I really want to win this for him. And of course, now I'm going to forget about my cheesecakes. I take my cheesecakes out of the oven. I know my cheesecake will make your knees go weak. A few air bubbles, but they're done. My dad would be so proud of this dish. He would eat it up. I am so excited.
Cake is in. Let's figure out this filling. So while my cake is baking, now it's time to do my cantaloupe filling. I'm using cantaloupes because I thought Moscato, cantaloupe, they complement each other. For this cantaloupe filling, I'm gonna chop it all down as fast as I can, get it into the blender with a little bit of Moscato wine to form a reduction that I can use as a filling. In my mind, I'm envisioning this decadent tower of cake with cantaloupe filling just cascading down. And so far, so good. Once I get my filling to the texture that I need it to be, I pour it into a pan and get it into the blast chiller to cool it down. Okay. Now it's time to do my Moscato buttercream with that secret ingredient, the melon popsicle. Throw them in the microwave and melt them down. I don't want them to get hot, I just want them to get melty. I'm adding the melon pops to the buttercream because I want the judges to get melon all the way through. By adding the honeydew pops, I've heightened the flavor of this buttercream to a whole nother level with melon, 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 and more melon.
Did you see what Yvette did? She had a honeydew popsicle, she melted them down, and she added them to her frosting. She's gonna get all that creaminess, mixing it together with the frosting to emulsify it beautifully.
I like where she's going. She's trying to maximize melon flavor. Yvette, baker move.
This is a really risky move because I don't know how it's gonna turn out. I've never used these before, but I'm just hoping and praying for the best. It's Melanie. Most definitely Melanie.
Oh, yeah. So next, it's time to get the gelée started. I grab the watermelon juice, add a little bit of sugar, and agar-agar. Agar-agar is another Japanese ingredient. It's extracted from seaweed.
Agar-agar is such a baker ingredient. It acts like gelatin, except it sets faster.
Faster and at higher temperatures as well. It can sit out at room temperature without it melting.
This is so smart. That's a baker move.
Don't be jelly about my gelée. My watermelon mixture is actually going to serve me two purposes. First, it's going to add a layer to the top of the lime shiso passette. I only add a thin layer of the gelée to the passette because I don't want too much watermelon flavor. I want it to be just enough to kind of go with the passette. I take the twills out of the oven. They are not as golden as I want them to be, but I have faith in these twills. These are going to work out because I've made these so many times. Come on.
2 minutes. So tell me, who are your two bakers?
I'm gonna go with Tammy and Kevin. I think Tammy's dish sounds incredible. She made those mini cheesecakes and her compote. Strawberries are in the rose family, and rose goes so beautifully with melon. She's daring. I stick with Kevin. He's making a tweel, and that's very delicate work to be able to mold it and shape it. I watched him with the agar. I think he's going to take us on a roller coaster ride of flavor.
I agree. Kevin's using agar-agar. Fakers don't use agar-agar. The way he's thinking about his dish, using the shiso, I mean, just everything screams professional to me. And my other baker is Yvette. I mean, I think the use of the popsicles is genius. Baker.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hands off! Stop baking!
Time is up, and I'm thinking, sweet! That's what they call a $10,000 dish.
Introducing Fresh Step Clean Paws. Low-tracking litter designed to stay off your floor and everywhere else. Let's make litter less of a mess. Let's start fresh.
A Hilton getaway means you get more because you get a break on breakfast. Get an extra day by the pool. Get to spend more time together. Get more from your spring break getaway with exclusive Hilton offers. Book yours only at Hilton.com.
Prudential asked these couples, how much money do you think you'll need in retirement? Then we found out how many years that money would last them. How do you think we'll keep...
You're gonna leave me back here at year 9? How did this happen?
It turned out a lot of people fell short of even the average length of retirement.
We have to think about not when we expect to live to, but when we could live to.
Let's plan for income that lasts all our years in retirement.
Prudential, bring your challenges.
When it comes to buying a house, Trulia knows the house is only half of it. And with 34 map overlays like traffic, crime, and more, you can find the right house and the right neighborhood for you. Trulia, the house is only half of it.
We're doing a cream cheese test. These are the ingredients for this one. And these are the ingredients for this brand.
I don't know what half of this stuff is.
I like this one. This is really yummy. What's the name of it?
The name of it is Arla.
That's really good.
Oh, good. Cream cheese. Yeah.
No.
When you carry out, some things are out of your control. But with Domino's new carry-out insurance, we'll replace your pizza if it gets ruined after you leave the store. Carry out large 3-topping pizzas for $7.99 every day.
If you're anything like me, your to-do list just keeps growing. It never stops. Which is why the online financing application at CarMax.com is so convenient. Get some of that finance stuff out of the way from wherever you are, at the doctor's office, karate practice, or my favorite, back at the doctor's office. Knowing before you go means more quality time sewing a costume for the school play that is not going to look anything like a frog. Just a little heads up, Mrs. Davis. Yay, kids!
Out of toner?
With 6 grams of energy-giving protein, there's nothing you and almonds can't do.
Bakers and fakers, you had 45 minutes to bake anything you wanted using melon. Only the person that created the best dish, baker or faker, will win $10,000. Tammy.
I made a champagne cheesecake with a cantaloupe and strawberry compote.
The cheesecake custard, silky, sexy, luscious, perfect. And the crust on the bottom, we did get the pecans. Nice and caramely and good crusty. Was it about melons? Not so much.
The compote, I thought was a terrible idea from the beginning, just because melons don't like to be cooked. So I think had you compressed the melon or infused the melon as opposed to cooking it, I think it would have been more successful for you. But the cheesecake, on point. And the champagne is so smart because it paired beautifully, so it was actually successful.
Kevin.
I made a lime shiso passet with a watermelon gelée. I use the watermelon in the gelée that's on top of the posset, and it's also used in the limes that are garnishing the side of the plate.
Beautiful execution, great idea. When you bite in and you taste watermelon, you taste watermelon. I saw that you had a problem with your trios. We were rooting for you. The problem for me was this was the only piece that was baked, and it's not as buttery. It's more floury. It made it pasty.
I thought this was very successful. I love the combination of textures between the custard below and the gelée above. I think the agar was incredibly smart because it's the only way you could set it in time. I did get these kind of weird stringy pieces of shiso. Had you put a lot more shiso in and infused it and then strained it out, it would have given the flavor. I think infusion is the key.
Right, okay.
Yvette, I made Moscato cake with cantaloupe filling and melon Moscato buttercream. I used the melon popsicle into the buttercream, and I took cantaloupe and made a filling out of it in the middle of the cake.
The cake itself is phenomenal. I mean, really, really good.
Thank you.
It's moist, it has a beautiful crumb, it's perfectly baked, it's very tender. The cantaloupe filling, I think, is undersweet. I think it could have used a little bit of sugar or honey or something to just bring it out. It's a little flat.
Okay.
The buttercream was a genius move by taking the popsicle, adding it in there. It did add sweetness, but goodness, it really brought that flavor of the popsicle. The problem for me is you go to cut through, and it's the leaning toe of the pizza, but overall, the dish is fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you all. So excuse us for a moment because the judges are gonna have to make some decisions.
I'm thinking my cake looks a mess. Some of the comments they said, mostly positive, but at the same time, they were saying it fell a little flat. And all I'm doing is praying, like, please let them love this cake. Please let them love this cake.
Bakers and Faker. In this envelope is the name of the person who created the judge's favorite dish. But before I reveal who that person is, will you please reveal who you are to us? Yvette, tell us, are you a baker or are you a faker? I am a...
Get ready, because these kid bakers are
so good. So good. I want to do my best to stand out to Duck and Valley.
Look at you. They're baked treats of skill.
Amazing.
And imagination.
You're messing with my head.
Will blow your mind.
Kids rock.
Finale. Kids Baking Championship tomorrow night at 9. Also available streaming on the Food Network app and Hulu.
At Planters, we put fresh roasted flavor into every can, which has its drawbacks. Guys, know anything about this missing inventory? Wasn't me. The cheeks don't lie, chat. Irresistibly Planters.
Taking a chance is tough. Washing cotton is easy. Learn why at thefabricofourlives.com.
Where's Frank? It's league night.
Save money on motorcycle insurance with Geico going up the country, ball without me. Frank.
I'm going to get nachos.
Snack bar's closed.
Geico Motorcycle. Great rates for great rides.
For a limited time, Wendy's Double Stack is just $1. A quarter pound of Wendy's fresh, never frozen beef and melty cheese, all for just $1. You may never see a deal this good again. So get a double stack for $1 from Wendy's today.
Hey, what are you guys doing here?
We're Voya. We stay with you to and through retirement.
So you'll still be here to help me make smart choices.
Well, with your finances, that is. We had nothing to do with that tie.
Voya, helping you to
and through
retirement.
We wrote the book on car pricing. Now you can be a pricing expert with the Kelley Blue Book Price Advisor, a tool that analyzes what people actually paid for the car you want. Why pay more for your next car?
Whatever it is that makes your business great, promote it with Vistaprint. Choose from banners, postcards, or business cards, each starting at less than $10 when you enter code GREAT at Vistaprint.com.
I promise to never compromise.
I promise to never compromise.
For a limited time, get up to $850 back on the LG V30, V30 Plus, and LG G6. See T-Mobile.com or store for details.
At Bissell, we love pets. We also love a challenge. The Bissell Pro Heat 2X Revolution Pet Pro has amazing features to help you remove stains, pet hair, and dirt from just about anywhere. It's the best deep cleaning system for pet messes.
Graduation day, a new start. Now you can begin repaying your student loans. Refinance at Credible.com, where people have saved on average $18,000 over the life of their loans. In 2 minutes, you can be pre-qualified for real rates, not ranges, from trusted lenders.
Knock 7 years off my payments.
Stop paying too much. 2 minutes is all it takes to see how much you could save on your student loans. Visit Credible.com before your next payment is due.
We're the dog people. The no one pill goes in ham and the other in cheese dog people. The find the perfect spot for privacy dog people. And the whatever it takes to get just the right kind of cozy dog people. At Rover.com, we're the dog care second only to you dog people. With the largest network of 5-star sitters ready to walk, love, or play with your dog. Go to Rover.com and book today. Rover.com, the dog people.
Yvette, tell us, are you a baker or are you a faker?
I am a baker.
Yes!
I win, I win, I win, I win.
In your face!
I win!
Yvette, where are you a baker?
I am the owner of O Taste and See Treats in Gilbert, Arizona. I am the owner and master tastanista of O Taste and See Treats in Gilbert, Arizona. Are you guys in for some cookie dough, some cakes, some cupcakes, or some ice cream? With my company, we've had the opportunity to do some amazing things. We've done the Super Bowl, we've done the Grammys, we've done the Oscars, we've done All-Stars, and then we also do your little 5-year-old birthday parties too. We're known for our southern delicacies such as peach cobbler, caramel cake, red velvet. You want the best? Come see me. I want to share a little slice of cake with you as I share a little bit of love with you on each and every plate through each and every bite.
All right, so now we know we have one baker and one faker remaining. Tammy, are you a baker or a faker?
I am a faker.
Tammy, what do you do for a living?
I actually am a news anchor in Monroe, Louisiana.
This just in, you can cook.
No fake news, just fake desserts. Coming up tonight on KNOE 8 News Live at 5, I anchor and produce the 5 p.m. news. The second of 4 Confederate monuments slated for removal. It's that first real local newscast of the day. You're discovering what's happening that day. I love that. We'll be right back. I am not a professional baker, but I am not exaggerating when I tell you that every waking moment I'm in the kitchen baking. And when I get a craving flung on me, you can bet I'm gonna make it, and I don't care if it's at 4 o'clock in the morning. Cheers. Cheers. I'm Tammy Arnder. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you have a great evening. You can keep up with all your news on air and online.
Kevin, I guess we know what that makes you, but just for the record, will you tell us, are you a baker or are you a faker?
I'm a baker.
You too!
Yeah.
Where are you a baker?
I'm the pastry chef at the Roundabout Grill in Reno, Nevada.
Oh.
I am a pastry chef at the Roundabout Grill in Reno, Nevada. I discovered my passion for baking when I was about 6 years old. I asked for an easy bake oven for Christmas, and Santa delivered. Since then, I've just been baking my way through cookbooks and going to culinary school, and the rest is history. The best part about being a pastry chef is the fact that you get to be involved in people's special occasions. And another one ready. Whether I'm making a wedding cake or whether I'm making a birthday cake, you're really almost the centerpiece of everyone's special days.
Well, now that we know who you are, it's my turn to reveal the winner. The winner is... Yvette!
Congratulations, girl. Thank you. You did amazing. So much. Oh, my God. You were fruity when you needed to be fruity. You were gooey when you needed to be gooey. And overall, just tasty. And I think that's truly what great desserts are all about.
Such an honor. Thank you, guys.
Well, Yvette, you have won $10,000.
I just won 10 like that.
Congratulations.
Hi. I feel like I need to come around and hug you guys.
Previously on Worst Cooks in America.
Tyler and I are going on break.
Really? Are you kidding me?
Why are you on fire? Look at that